Prague. Prague is the capital and largest city of the Czech Republic and the historical capital of Bohemia. Situated on the Vltava River, Prague is home to about 1.4 million people. The city has a temperate oceanic climate, with relatively warm summers and chilly winters. Prague is a political, cultural, and economic hub of Central Europe, with a rich history in Romanesque, Gothic, Renaissance, and Baroque architectures. It was the capital of the Kingdom of Bohemia and residence of several Holy Roman emperors, most notably Charles IV. Prague is home to a number of well-known cultural attractions, many of which survived the violence and destruction of 20th century Europe. Main attractions include Prague Castle, Charles Bridge, Old Town Square with the Prague Astronomical Clock, the Jewish Quarter, Petrin Hill, and Vyšehrad. Since 1992, the historic center of Prague has been included in the UNESCO list of World Heritage Sites. Head of Franz Kafka. The head of Franz Kafka, also known as the Statue of Kafka, is an outdoor kinetic sculpture by David Cerny depicting Bohemian German language writer Franz Kafka, installed on 31 October 2014 outside of the Quadrio shopping mall in Prague, Czech Republic. The price was 30 million crowns, paid by the investor CPI Property Group together with the adjacent Quadrio complex. Kafka himself worked in the nearby building of a saving bank. The kinetic sculpture is 10.6 meters tall and made of 42 rotating stainless steel panels weighing 24 tons in total. Each layer is mechanized and rotates individually. Inside, there are 21 motor modules and 1 kilometer of cable stock. The programming of the sculpture's movements can be changed and the artist can create new choreographies. The flip side of this is the high maintenance. Servicing must be done every fortnight. Havel Market Square. The only preserved marketplace in the middle of Old Prague dates back to 1232. In addition to Havelska Street, where market stalls currently stand, the original marketplace also included the parallel Returska Street and Uhelný Trh. Today, you can find here a selection of fruits and vegetables and also tourist souvenirs. Illusion Art Museum. Illusion Art Museum Prague is the Czech Republic's first museum dedicated to illusion and trick art, conveniently located in the heart of Prague between Old Town Square and Wenceslas Square. You will encounter illusion art in many different styles, some rooted deep in history, others contemporary and cutting edge. From anamorphic installations which render renowned historical figures in unexpected ways to metallurgical painting, trick art, spatial illusions, and more. See Czech history come alive. Play with interactive exhibits, make unforgettable memories, discover how perspective can open up new worlds, and capture photos that your friends and family will love. Prague Astronomical Clock. The Prague Astronomical Clock is a medieval astronomical clock attached to the Old Town Hall in Prague. The clock was first installed in 1410, making it the third oldest astronomical clock in the world and the oldest clock still in operation. The clock is mounted on the southern wall of Old Town Hall in the Old Town Square. The clock mechanism has 3 main components: the astronomical dial, representing the position of the sun and moon in the sky and displaying various astronomical details. Statues of various Catholic saints stand on either side of the clock, the Walk of the Apostles, an hourly show of moving apostle figures and other sculptures, notably a figure of a skeleton that represents death, striking the time, and a calendar dial with medallions representing the months. Old Town Square. Old Town Square is a historic square in the Old Town quarter of Prague. It is located between Wenceslas Square and Charles Bridge. The square features buildings belonging to various architectural styles, including the Gothic Church of Our Lady before Tin, which has been the main church of this part of the city since the 14th century. Its characteristic towers are 80 m high. The Baroque St. Nicholas Church is another church located in the square dome. The Church of the Mother of God before Tin is a Gothic church and a dominant feature of the old town of Prague, Czech Republic. It has been the main church of this part of the city since the 14th century. The church's 2 towers are 80 m high, and each tower's spire is topped by 8 smaller spires in 2 layers of 4. The House of Wolfen of Cayman. Nicholas Church. The Church of St. Nicholas is a Baroque church in the lesser town of Prague. It was built between 1704 and 1755 on the site where formerly a Gothic church from the 13th century stood, which was also dedicated to St. Nicholas. It has been described as the greatest example of Prague Baroque. National Gallery Prague, Kinsky Palace. National Library of the Czech Republic. The National Library of the Czech Republic is the central library of the Czech Republic. It is directed by the Ministry of Culture. The library's main building is located in the historical Clementinum building in the center of Prague, where approximately half of its books are kept. The other half of the collection is stored in the district of Hostovar. Church of St. Salvator. St. Salvator Church is a Catholic church in the Clementinum in Old Town, Prague. The church was built on the foundations of the Gothic Church of St. Clement, affiliated with the Dominican order. For many years, from the turn of the 16th to 17th century, it was gradually built by anonymous people, then by Carlo Lurego and Francesco Carati. As early as 1578 to 1581, the Society of Jesus, led by Rector Giovanni Paolo Campana, laid the foundations of the building, then a chancel and a transept were built. Old Town Bridge Tower. Old Town Bridge Tower is a Gothic monument located in Prague. Its construction began in 1357 AD, during the rule of the Emperor Charles IV. It was designed by the architect Petr Parler. Charles Bridge. Charles Bridge is a medieval stone arch bridge that crosses the Vltava River in Prague dock. Its construction started in 1357 under the auspices of King Charles IV, and finished in the early 15th century. The bridge replaced the old Judith Bridge built 1158 to 1172 that had been badly damaged by a flood in 1342. This new bridge was originally called Stone Bridge or Prague Bridge, but has been referred to as Charles Bridge since 1870. As the only means of crossing the river Vltava until 1841, Charles Bridge was the most important connection between Prague Castle and the city's old town and adjacent areas. This land connection made Prague important as a trade route between Eastern and Western Europe. The bridge is 516 meters, 1,693 feet, long and nearly 10 meters, 33 feet, wide. It was built as a bow bridge with 16 arches shielded by ice guards. It is protected by 3 bridge towers, 2 on the lesser quarter side and 1 on the Old Town side, the Old Town Bridge Tower. The bridge is decorated by a continuous alley of 30 statues and statuaries, most of them Baroque style, originally erected around 1700, but now all have been replaced by replicas. Francis of Assisi Church. The Church of the Knights of the Cross, also Church of St. Francis of Assisi or Church of St. Francis Seraphinus, is a church building in the old town of Prague. The church is located on the right bank of the Vltava River on the east side of the Charles Bridge. Nicholas Church. The Church of St. Nicholas is a Baroque church in the lesser town of Prague. It was built between 1704 and 1755 on the site where formerly a Gothic church from the 13th century stood, which was also dedicated to St. Nicholas. It has been described as the greatest example of Prague Baroque. Dancing House. The Dancing House, or Ginger and Fred, is the nickname given to the Nationale Nederlanden building on the Razanovo Nabrizi in Prague. It was designed by the Croatian-Czech architect Vlado Milunik in cooperation with Canadian-American architect Frank Gehry on a vacant riverfront plot. The building was designed in 1992. The construction, carried out by B6, was completed 4 years later in 1996. Brick Gate. The Brick Gate was built in 1841 in Empire style as part of the construction of a new road to Tabor through Vyšehrad on initiative of Karel Čotek, governor of Prague. The gate consists of 3 passages, 1 for vehicles, 2 for pedestrians, with guardrails on sides. Saints Peter and Paul Basilica. The Basilica of St. Peter and St. Paul is a neo-Gothic collegiate and parish church in Vyšehrad fortress in Prague. Founded in 1070 to 1080 by the King Bratislaus II of Bohemia, the Romanesque basilica suffered a fire in the year 1249 and has been rebuilt in Gothic and later in neo-Gothic style. The basilica features an impressive stone mosaic above its entry, and its twin 58m towers can be seen atop a hill to the south from along the Vltava River in central Prague. Vyšehrad Cemetery and Slaven. The Vyšehrad Cemetery, adjacent to the Church of St. Peter and St. Paul, is one of the most significant cemeteries in Prague. Over 600 famous people are buried here: writers, scientists, poets, artists, composers, actors, doctors, politicians, and others. At the cemetery's eastern end, you'll find the monumental tomb Slaven, where the nation's most famous personages are laid to rest. Czech Police Museum. The museum is located on the grounds of the former Augustinian monastery on Karlova Street, which was founded in 1350 by Charles IV. Its natural dominant is the Church of the Assumption of the Blessed Virgin Mary and St. Charles the Great. This museum objectively documents and presents the history, development and operation of security forces in the former Czechoslovakia since its inception to the present.